Hey there, good evening. I hope you are doing well. It is Monday, even though today I thought it was Wednesday, and it was quite a confusion in a lot of the conversations I had, especially when we were trying to coordinate and lock in dates for things and whatnot. But if you're joining us for the first time, thanks so much. And essentially, this is a series where I'm going to try and rebuild a software application that I use quite frequently called You Need a Budget. Last time we finished off with getting Vite sorted, especially the hot module reloading, which allows us to do quirky and cool things. Because one of the key parts about development and which is a nice development experience is if you can make changes and see those changes take effect quite quickly. So what hot module reloading allows us to do is, as you can see, I'm editing the code over there on the right, and the moment I save it, it updates on the left hand side in the browser. So this is going to be amazing is we're essentially going to be able to, as we make changes, it's just automatically going to refresh, and that's just a nice little quality of life bit that makes building a lot more fun. And yeah, it just helps you move quicker, fail faster, all those beautiful things. So I think by now I'm already kind of feeling bad that I'm flashing you with this white screen. So my apologies for all the peeps that are dark mode users. I'm one of them, so this is quite hectic. So hopefully this will motivate me to either switch tabs quickly or B, solve the issue that I'm facing right now. So what is the issue that I'm facing right now? I do not have Tailwind in the project as yet. So there's a couple of different ways that I could do this. Something that I never understood originally, and I know somebody more senior than me explained it to me, but you don't necessarily need to install a CSS framework like Tailwind or Bootstrap. You can actually just pretty much get that into your site by using the CDN. I think that stands for Content Distribution Network. Anyways, lots of fancy stuff. But what it essentially does is it injects the CSS into your site, and it does it, if you do it in the right place, it does it at a high enough level that all your child components and pages essentially has access to it. So I think that even that would have still flown above my head when I started out. So no hard feelings if it doesn't make any sense right now. It's one of those things that the deeper you get into it, the more sense these things tend to make, and there's so many large concepts that just absolutely feel like like alien when you get into it. And maybe one day I'll understand this deeply enough to be able to simply explain it. But long story short, the one thing keeps the CSS outside of your project, which means every time you want to load a website, you do need access to the internet, because it's actually going to make a call to a server outside of your machine where you might be building your project to get that CSS. If it's unavailable, if your internet's down, you name it, out of luck, your styling isn't going to render the way you expect it to. It's a legitimate concern. How often it happens, not sure. But I think there's a reason, and that it's a standard that we tend to move to actually installing the CSS library within our projects, because again, if you do that, you've essentially scaffolded all the styling files that your server, that your site, that your pages needs to reference, and it's on your server, right? So if your server's up, odds are it's going to have access to the styling. It's not relying on a third-party service. But in any case, CDN styling, you name it, I think there's probably a whole science and pros and cons to making that call. But for now, I think what I just want to do is I want to see if I can get this installed. And as you can see, I've already got the docs open, because I think I want to maybe just practice that, and that is that you really should rely on the docs of the framework or the library that you're using, and it should be your go-to more than anything else, because otherwise you can get into a rabbit hole and the answers are obvious, or most often just like right in front of you. Okay, cool. So let's have a look at it, right? So let's have a look at the Tailwind CLI. So you can just the normal npm installation. Okay, create a Tailwind config file, configure the template path. add the Tailwind directive to your CSS. Main CSS file, okay. Cool, that would be the app CSS file in Laravel, nice. Start the Tailwind CLI build process. Start using Tailwind in your HTML. Okay, so that's obviously like using Tailwind in any framework, or that's kind of like this is how you would install it. So I'm curious if Laravel doesn't have a specific. Oh, there you go, Tailwind CSS, specifically how to do it in Laravel. So that was the get started with Tailwind CSS, and they actually wrote a Laravel specific installation instructions. So you can see there's some love between the Tailwind peeps and the Laravel peeps, that they kind of sorted this out. Okay, so using Vite, right? That would be the one that we're interested in because we've got that sorted. So install Tailwind CSS and its peer dependencies via npm. Alright, so let's do that. Maybe slot that to the one side, and I'm going to open up my IDE in the other. So just follow, see what I'm doing. So I'm inside my project folder and I am hitting npm install Tailwind CSS. So let's do those commands. Paste that. Need to put the cursor down there. Have to have a space over there. Let's see what that does. Oh, it's doing some things. Okay, so after that, we're going to be doing npx. I'm actually not familiar with what npx is. What is npx? Command. Node package execute. It's simply an npm package runner. It allows developers to execute any JavaScript package available on the npm registry without even installing it. Okay, that's interesting. Tailwind CSS, Post CSS, Auto Prefix, the three packages we're getting from there. Okay, cool. Well, oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's quite cool. So one of the things I always notice with some of the projects I worked on is when you do npm installs, there's always like vulnerabilities and stuff. So I can't remember when's the last time that I saw 0 vulnerabilities. So that just kind of, I don't know, in a certain sense gives you quite a bit of confidence that the oaks are really, I would almost say passionate, but just, really good. They're really looking after their situation. Unexpected token dot npx, because I do have npx installed. Error, you must apply a command. Yeah, okay, cool. So npx is installed, so we do tailwind init-p unexpected token dot. Let's actually give this a Google. Curious to see what I might be doing, or whether it might be a Windows. Oops, the thing. Unexpected token. Right. Node compatibility. Tailwind 1.0 needs. Yeah, make sure you are on a support version of Node. Okay, so let's see which version of Node I have. Version 10.19. Okay, so I actually don't have the latest version of Node installed. Let's get that sorted. Update Node. Let's see. Use npm to update your Node version. Okay. Clear the npm cache when you install dependencies. Some modules are cached to improve speed. Right. Cool. Paste. Casual says it could potentially just wreck everything. Missing right access. So let's do sudo. Okay. Give that the password. Okay, cool. Sorted that out. We'll need to install this package globally that manages the node version at the root. Install a new version of node. 2 commands above install the long-term support and latest versions of node. Alright. Paste. Cool. See, it needs elevated privileges, so we will give it the elevated privileges. Gee whiz, version 18. Yeah, this is an interesting question, because technically I'm installing this on the Windows subsystem, but I maybe wanted to run in my container. But if I remember, if my thinking isn't too muddied, when you have a container, it's actually running off of your base OS, right? So it's also when I'm installing these files, or scaffolding it and rolling it out, I'm actually doing that in the storage part of the container, not the actual container itself. Anyways, cool. Not sure about that, but we can just run with this for now. Would love to get deep into containers in the near future. Really cool technology. Docker. Worked a lot with it, but there's a lot of cool stuff out there. Remove previously installed versions. Base in prune. Okay, cool. There's just 2 different methods how to update. One, use npm to update, or use nvm to update. So I don't think we need to do this. We should already have. I mean, if we do node-v now, it's still showing version 10. I mean, it could be that, right? We went down this rabbit hole because this wasn't working, right? Let's maybe do it with elevated privileges, see if that makes any difference. Huh. So either it was the node update or we needed elevated privileges, but I think let's go with maybe it was the node version. The only thing that bothers me obviously is if I ask terminal, what my node version is, it's sitting at 10. Well, it works, Cool, let's close that down. Okay, so we were able to run all of the above. So for Laravel, we got that sorted. Add the paths of your template files in your tailwind.config.js file. Alright, there it is. So you can see there's export content themes. What am I missing? It's a little bit older. So there's the theme bit, right? Oh no, there's content. Do like that. That is essentially what we're going to be building, right? So let's realign that. Cannot save. File for writing. So if I close it and it's still there. That's really cool. Okay. Add the following directions to your CSS file. Tailwind layers to your resource. So the resource is CSS, app CSS, bang, sorted, gotcha. Start your build process. npm, well, it's going to be sail npm on dev. Cool. Start using Tailwind in your project. Okay. Here comes the white screen again. There's the welcome blade. So we do BG black de nada. Oh, you know what? I actually went and edited this file. It should probably, let's look at what all the edits. Oh, of course, because I I revert that back, right? Save over here, it's probably still not going to do anything. Because you know what, I'm missing something. You can see is, oh, there we go. Feed is, Byte is uploading those things. There's the resources app.css. That is interesting. Okay, so I'm obviously still missing something. Okay, I think one thing that I want to hit maybe is let's just omit these files because I haven't actually done that so far, so we won't be tracking changes. So let's just go welcome page initial workings, and that's why we cleaned up the welcome page. Cool, got that sorted. Feed config, Vite config. Come on, man. Oh, this is interesting. See, it won't be that. I've actually got to go look at this. Let's actually maybe look at that first. Let's just happen to settle my eyes on that, right? Because I don't think that's where we store our CSS. We store our CSS in the resources CSS app.css. Like we save that. Anything? No, still not showing us any love. I wonder how you'd know if it's actually compiled or not. If I go inspect this, get there. Let me just dock that down. Dock it at the bottom. Let's close this down. That's the console. And basically what I was just quickly going to look for is look, it is not seeing anything. So BG Black, if Tailwind loads successfully, would change this white to black. So that's how I know it isn't pulling through as yet. But okay, let's just finish up the get. So it's just the initial beat, the config setup. Sort that one out. Package.json. Yeah, so there you can see npm has actually updated this for us, which is awesome. It's gonna go though npm each setup. Plot that in. Okay, omitting the .block file in case we ever need to reproduce it on another machine, so that we can go like for like. Letting block concurrency. I think concurrency. Well, anyways, agreement. Okay, cool. It's Laravel /PHP package dependencies. Okay, just slotting that one in there. What else do we have here? I'm just going to put all of these in the same bit. Get Control-Alt-A. in contents. Okay, put that in there. Gonna push that up. Okay, and then once we've got that up into the cloud, let's dive back into the current issue. Okay, so if I change that, unable to open the file for writing. wonder why that is. I can close that down. I'm actually just going to restart my PHP store because it's possible that somewhere something is just caching it or like grabbing it and not allowing me to edit. So what do you call it? IT debugging 101. Have you tried turning it on and off again? Okay, cool. So let's actually go sail down. Let's actually stop the containers as well. Just give it a proper reboot. Let me just drop that white text a bit. Take us back to the soothing Tailwind blue. Beautiful docs. Okay, sweet. See if we can make edits to this file. No, following the code I'm attempting to. Yeah, I don't get it. Following was code on attempt. Okay, I think I'm just quickly going to take a quick pause. Just want to try turning my machine on and off because that's weird. It shouldn't be having this issue. Cool. Be right. Cool, and we're back. Okay, so turning it on and off didn't work. So I got to thinking, okay. I can't write to the file, so I've probably not got permissions, and then that led me to thinking, okay, but you're using Windows subsystem for Linux, which means this is Linux, right? So let's just have a look and see who actually owns the file, right? So you can run the CLI command ls-la, and that'll actually spit out the files. Plus, in these two columns, it actually shows you the owner, so you can see Jonathan. But then you see post CSS config.js is owned by root, as well as Tailwind's configs files also owned by root. And that makes sense to me because I think I had to run that npx command with elevated privileges. And I think in doing so, it probably defaults to making the owner root. So we can change this by running with elevated privileges, the cho command, saying who we wish to own the file, and in this case I want Jonathan to own the file, so I give it my elevated password. We do another own for that other file because we don't know yet where we're going to use that. And so now if you do ls-la, you can see that the owner's changed to Jonathan, and so now given that, I should be able to make a change to it, and it allow me to save, no more errors. Okay, awesome. So that is that. Oh my word! And there's the white background of iBirding is finally gone. We now got a black background. That is so freaking awesome. So let's actually see bg dash. Wait, bg dash. Do we have others like yellow? I wonder. So I see it. I see Bootstrap. It's all Bootstrap utilities. Does it have any Tailwind classes? Okay, well, we know we do have, because BG. Oh, you know what? BG Black. So let's actually see. Okay. So we've got it installed. Woohoo! Great stuff. So let's look at things. So you can see some stuff. We can there's the colors. Yuck. Oh, this is so awesome. So if I wanted to do that, what is that? What did you just copy? Oh, that's the hex code. That's really cool. So you can like copy a theme. Do you actually have to? Wait, okay, how does this work? You can use custom colors, but that's not really what we want to do. Customize your palette. Okay, well, no, I'm really happy with their palette. I'm just curious to see if there's like a theme. You can do blue. Tailwind config.js. Customizing the default theme for your project. The theme section of your Tailwind CSS file is where you find and define your project's color palette. Type, scale, fonts, border radius. We provide a sensible default theme with a very generous set of values to get you started. Okay. Alright, that's pretty cool. Was that just like a copy paste? But wow. Wow, that is a serious theme file. Okay, gee whiz. Okay. I don't know, I'm just curious to see what happens if we kind of like run with this. So I'm just trying to think where the theme bit should end. It all still looks to me like theme data. Theme. Seeing lots of themey things. And there's an opening bracket, closing bracket, and then also a plugin. So that should be this. So that's probably going to get my sure. Okay, awesome. So now if we go up, we should see different color gradients, animations. I wonder what happens if you put spin on this text. Will it like literally just spin? I guess not. I was just so excited for a moment. Oh, how does this work? BG dash 850. Okay, cool. That's that. So how does this work now? So will there be like a BG? Well, actually, there will be like yellow, right? So if I look for yellow, colors yellow. So if we do, not that I want to keep it yellow, but if we do BG yellow, that doesn't do anything. Green. Okay, so there's probably a bit more config to be done with it that I'm probably not realizing. Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that it talks about here. I wonder then, how did we do it different in some of our projects? I feel like I've got a lot more color customization out of the box in some of those, and I don't know if it's just because somebody took the time to actually set these up. I mean, it could be. Just go and look at background. Not size, but there's some classes. Get some stuff sorted. What if we do colors, text, decorate color, text color, text black? You've got all those different kind of like. Great, this looks. Do like text orange 400, right? Just as an example. And we slap that onto. Let's just make this again black, just to get that white away. And we actually go and we do this. Oh man, looks so good. There it's just pops. Okay, sorry, I'm just kind of messing around with the styles at the moment. This is really interesting. I don't think I've ever done this myself from like a Tailwind scaffolding perspective. That's really great. I think the only thing that I'm wondering now is like, I see we've got a lot of stuff indexed here, but these aren't really what I'm interested in. So I would be quite curious to see how I would get Tailwind base, or sorry, PHP Storm indexing the Tailwind classes Because I've got that on another project that I'm just thinking how to do it for this one. Plugins, Tailwind CSS auto prefixer. Really cool. Let's just give it a quick Google. PHP Storm, how to index Tailwind CSS. You start, make sure, okay. Okay, we've already done that. PHP Storm auto completes Tailwind classes in HTML files and in CSS files after the @apply directive. Sure. I mean, it didn't work for me. Okay, before you start, make sure you have this, make sure you have Node, make sure you have CSS and Tailwind CSS plugins installed. Okay, let's see if we got those. As far as I know, I should have them. If you look at plugins tools, there's plugins. We look at Tailwind. Yeah, Tailwind CSS, I've got you sorted. Okay, Tailwind CSS and just, I guess, just normal CSS. Post CSS installed, Tailwind CSS installed. Yeah, okay, so the plugins are there. So that's what I'm saying, I probably just think that I'm probably missing something. Control-Alt-S. Yeah, that's who we're just now, hey? Cool. So in any case, I guess one thing that was interesting so far throughout this series is again just how much effort actually goes into just scaffolding and setting up the initial stuff so that, you know, you can iterate and build further into a project. It's really cool to see for the first time my side. Yeah, so if you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. I guess we'll dig a bit further in a future segment and hopefully actually get to building. But so far, really cool. It's really cool to get these things sorted and out of the way. Yeah, it's just nice to mess around a bit and just kind of like wing it and see what you can figure out. Cool. Hope you have a good week further. All the best.